guys, welcome back to my book channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, or if you found this channel through my Bookstagram reels, hi. Subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. I'm loving making little reels with Bookstagram. It's my new favourite thing to do. I've never been a TikTok person, don't even have an account, but reels on Instagram are fun. So anyway, for this video, this is going to be my book review of The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Just to say, there'll be spoilers in this review. It's impossible for me to review it without telling spoilers, so if that's not your vibe, I don't do that very often. I try and do reviews that don't have spoilers, but if I've really not enjoyed a story, then I'm gonna explain to you why in a lengthy explanation, so it's a justified review. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. It makes sense in my own head. So anyway, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I read this in 3 days. The blurb says, each has a secret, each has a motive. Off the wind-swept Irish coast, guests gather for the wedding of the year. Old friends, past grudges, happy families, hidden jealousies, 13 guests, one body. One guest won't leave this wedding alive. Now, I'm all for a crime, a murder mystery, a whodunit. I love them. They're my favourite kind of books to read, especially with thrillers, and I love when, you know, books jump straight into the story and you're left trying to figure out the premises of the book, you know? However, my issue with this book is that the main bulk of the story takes place in the last 80 pages of the book, and so, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, okay, but why did we have to, you know, do all the follow-up to that for the main bulk of the story, the main premises of the story to be the last 80 pages? It just really angered, like, really annoyed me, because obviously, like, this book has really short chapters and each guest's perspective on things, and they all link together. I think my favourite part of this book was there was a whole section where each character would have an explanation, and then it would end, the end sentence of that would say, and then the lights went out, and that was my favourite part of it because it felt very theatrical, and I can imagine it being like a play or something, and that was I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's getting more exciting. And then I was like, well, I got to I think around page like 362, and I was thinking, not really a lot left, and is the story gonna sum up? Is it gonna like all tie together? How do I feel? Like, most of the characters just really annoyed me. I don't know. I did enjoy the style of writing because, like I said, I do like the short chapters. I find them easier to read than, say, a book that has 12 pages for a chapter. I don't know, I just prefer short chapters. But the issue was that, now, some of it was a bit awkward, like, and uncomfortable to read. Especially, but I thought my favourite part was how all these stories linked back together. Like, so there was a chain link within it because, you know, they all somehow linked together, and Hannah is Charlie's wife, and Charlie is Jules's best friend from when they were younger. So Hannah's been paranoid this entire time that they've known them, that they've slept together, that, you know, she just wants to know, have you slept together, to give me a straightforward answer. And she finds out the answer, and she thinks, oh, maybe it happened years ago. Turns out it happened quite recently, so obviously Hannah's upset about that because she knew that they were flirty, but more than best friends should be. You know, and there's a boundary there, and Hannah was not happy with that. And the fact that Charlie bloody well ignored her for most of the wedding when Hannah is his wife. I don't know, that them characters just really rubbed me up the wrong way. And also Will, he's just a very like creepy character. Also, just want to say, warning, word of warning, there are very graphic details, graphic descriptions of self-harm, and I see, this is why it would help if I read reviews before I read a book, but I don't like doing that because I then go into it with a prejudged judgment before I've even read it, and I don't like doing that. However, reading really graphic descriptions of self-harm really makes me uncomfortable because I experienced it years ago, and it's not very nice to read. So if you do intend on reading this, I just want to say there are very vivid things that link to attempted suicide, self-harm, and depression. And Olivia, the character Olivia, she's important to the story, but also basically they're all her. That links to all of those things. She's the one that just describes them very vividly. So I don't know, if you are on the pages where it's getting vivid, maybe just skip that paragraph because it's not really important. You don't have to read it. But yeah, I gave this book 3 stars because it took so long to get to the main plot line that I was like very impatient, to say the least. And then once I got to the plot line, I was just like, oh, wonderful, that was not that exciting. And I really wanted to like this book, and I feel bad because everywhere I've seen everyone giving it 5 stars, here, there and everywhere. But for me, it was a 3-star book. In comparison to other books I've read that are the same genre, like the book I read before this one was the Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Honestly, loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars just because. Why did I give 5? But I loved this book. Absolutely loved it. I would read it again, considering, like, if I had to reread a book I've read this year, it would be this one, hands down. Hands down. I read this book in like 3 days again. See, my reading has gone, like the pace of me reading has gone up so much. Like I can read a book within 3 days now, whereas I used to take a month to read a book. So anyway, this was my review on the guest list. I'm very new to reviewing books, so I don't know if this even made any sense, but I just think people should know that there's very triggering descriptions in this book. And also, you know, if a book takes the entire book to get to the main plot line, yeah, I've read better books anyways. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and see you later.